everybody. I am trying to film this vlog, and this is admittedly not my first attempt. I'm kind of getting the flu, I think, so naturally I've been starting to drink gin to dull the incoming dread of this flu. But I'm making the video because I'm about 10 days out from releasing my first album. Yes, which probably took me like 10 years to make. So it's been like a long time coming. I've been trying to put out an album for like, I swear, like a decade, maybe over a decade. I'm 28 now. I just turned 28 on December 31st. But yeah, so I'm really excited about it, and I kind of just wanted to make this little video to talk a little bit about what the process was like and what the album means, and just kind of introduce myself, I guess. Hello. But yeah, so the album's called Shhugar, and I would say it's like very much an origin story album. A lot of the songs talk about the trials and tribulations of getting to this point of putting this record out. And there's stuff about the industry, but a lot of it is more so about what I had to overcome in myself. And then there's also like some love stories along the way and some heartbreak stories along the way. And a lot of it centers around one particular thing that happened that was kind of this make it or break it moment for me in my career that really could have and should have broken me. But for whatever reason, it inspired me to write this album, and I feel like it was like, I definitely had thoughts in that moment of like, maybe this is not for me, maybe this industry's not for me, maybe this like is just not what I'm gonna end up doing. And it's been like my dream since I was a kid, so I I didn't want to take all that effort I had put over the years and like throw it out. But yeah, then I just got really inspired, and I wrote Too Pretty and Kill for Sport first, probably like within 2 days of each other. And the album just started like flowing out of me like really, really easily. And I think I took it as a sign that like this is just what I need to do. And it was kind of like a don't give up thing. But yeah, to go back to the beginning, since I'm introducing myself, I started when I was like around 12. I had been writing since I was like 7 or 8 or whatever, because when I was a kid, I was born in 97, so I grew up watching a lot of Hannah Montana. Shout out to Miley Cyrus because I love her. But I grew up listening to a lot of Hannah Montana, watching Hannah Montana, getting really inspired by the show, kind of like wanting to have that life or whatever. And I would actually print her songs off. I would print them off, and I would dissect them, and I would like figure out, I think before I even knew what like songwriting was really in a huge way, other than what it was on that show, I would like go through, and I think because the song structures were so easy to follow, my brain as a kid, being like a sponge, just like figured out like how to write like a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, whatever. And this when I was probably like 8 or 9 or whatever, right? And then I would try and write my own songs, right? And I was the living room performer. I would like to perform whenever we had like family dinners or stuff like that. I was always like up on some couch, like giving a performance. This is obviously before I developed like anxiety and all these things. I was quite the attention freak. But yeah, I was that kid. I was the kid that performed for their family. Whatever that says about me, I don't know. But I um, yeah, I started doing that, and then um, I just had an interest in that stuff really young, which I think a lot of people did. But when I was around 12, they came through these like towns, and I feel like all the like people that were born in early 2000s, like late 90s will really remember this, or probably like late 90s, like mid 90s. Um, but they would come through and it'd be like, your kid could be the next Hannah Montana, your kid could be a Disney star or whatever. Um, the next big thing. And they would come, and people in these towns, like, who obviously, like, none of our parents had anything to do with anything in the music world. Like, I grew up in Nova Scotia, so it's not exactly like the hub for um, the music industry, if you will. But especially back then, um, my mom had found this, right? And so we went down to Pier 21, which was like a pier port thing, convention center at the time. And all of the girls, like I swear, every girl that was like 12, 11, 10, 13 was like lined up outside the convention center from the entire town. And we would all line up and wait for our shot to be like discovered or whatever. Um, it was all like a scam. Like they were scamming for your parents' money, right? And I will be the first to say I wasn't like a naturally gifted singer. Like, you see these people go on these talent shows and they're like exceptional singers. Like, that was not me. I I was okay, like for my age, but I was not like anything special. Um, but they discovered me, right? They wanted money, but it was enough false confidence for me to live in the land of Delulu long enough to like get better at music. Um, so that's what happened. And then I went and I did a contest thing in Montreal when I was like 12. And I remember at the audition for that, which was like acting and modeling or something like that. Which also, this was really weird because they made the kids like model in their bikinis, but they wouldn't let the parents in. And I always thought that was so weird. Like, I don't know, these weird like scammy things that were going on were like really bizarre. But I went and did that, and at one of the audition things, I pulled out one of my little songs and I sang it. And the person that was like judging or had been like working or like hired to do this, he actually was like a music manager. So I ended up going to Toronto after and recording these 12-year-old songs or whatever for like nothing. It was like just for fun basically. And then I had those, and that was like the start of my obsession with like, I want to do this with my life. Like, this is everything to me, you know? And that never really went away. I was always like so sure about what I wanted to do, which my dad always said was like such a gift, because I definitely had friends, especially around like the time of university and stuff like that, that, you know, it's like, I think it's really hard when you don't have this thing from a young age that just drives you and you're like, I'm sure I want to do this. Like, I know a lot of people that, you know, like it took them like a really long time to figure out what they want to do with their life. And I know a lot of people that are still trying to figure out what they want to do with their life. And yeah, what did my dad say to me? He said, never forget that it's a privilege to have a dream. And I always loved when he would say that, because it was such a good reminder, like even in like the hardest moments of like trying to achieve and strive for something. And I think advice like that like really kept me going for a really long time, because it's like, yeah, even though there's like these hard parts of this, like I'm so lucky to have something that I want to like endure through all this stuff for. um Anyways, not to be like so serious and poetic, but like that really was like such a significant thing that I think he just said it to me one day. I was like walking down the stairs to go into my room, and he said it so in passing, he probably doesn't even remember it, but it really stuck. It really stuck with me, like, quite significantly. And I don't know if he'll ever watch this video, but yeah, so I did that, and that just like really gave me like so much confidence for so many years and so much delusion, because I have recordings of that time, and I'm telling you guys, like, it was not good. It was really not good. Even for my age, it was not good. So yeah, it was like my development of talent was very much a slow burn. It was not like this natural thing that I had. I think I just naturally had a lot of delusion, and I naturally had a lot of drive. Because a lot of kids, like, they like to go to parties when I was growing up and stuff like that, and I just wanted to stay home. I wanted to work. I loved doing that stuff. But I did start partying in university later in life, which has a lot of stories around it. But yeah, so that's kind of how that happened. And then there's, XYZ that happened along the way. I went through a crazy amount of stuff, and I never really gave myself like a backup plan in life. So I've had to figure out ways to like finance putting my full force focus into this, and at times in my career that meant like, not having a place to live, or like not having a lot of income, or maybe having to do things for money that or not the most comfortable things to do, or not the most glamorous or whatever. But I don't regret a minute of it, because it really did get me to where I am, and gave me a lot of experience too as a person, a lot of growth as a person, which I think I really needed in order to like make music that matters, or at least matters to me. But sorry, also I'm stuffed up because I'm getting the flu, which is so not fun. But yeah, so over the years I did like every shit job you can imagine. I worked like as a dishwasher. I worked at a fast food restaurant. I was a hat maker. That was fun. I actually loved that. And I think one day I'll get back to that. Like, my dream is that one day I'll have a big house, and I can have like a little like studio thing in the back of it for like collaging and like art, and I can make hats. Which is like my dream. But yeah. Yeah, worked a bunch of shitty jobs, and then I was desperately trying to get out to LA, so I would come out there, or come out here. I'm here now, which I'll get to that too, but I would come out here, and I would just do whatever it took, like to be here and like do the thing and everything. And yeah, a few years ago I was living in the basement of a studio in Toronto on a couch. And I only bring this up not because like I honestly feel woe is me about it. I'm actually really grateful for these experiences, but it is what a lot of the album's based on. There was this whole crazy rumor that started, and I'd never experienced anything like this in my life. But it was like a rumor about my mental health, and that I was like not okay and all this stuff. And as the rumor mill goes, it just became like it went from like mild concern to like full on demonization. Like, it was like insane. But this was always all happening like without me knowing or hearing about it. I just thought people were being really weird to me, and then I would confide in the person that was like my friend, who turned out to be the person that was like starting all this stuff. She'd be like, oh no, it's all in your head, like everyone's fine, everyone's chilling. But it was not in my head. it became quite serious, and I actually like I lost my place to live. I lost my job. I lost my income. Because this person like really like tried to ruin my life, and it was scary. Like it was actually scary. Because I believe it was like ill intended. Which is like hard because I've definitely had things happen in my life where it's like the person's not necessarily trying to hurt you, but like it's different when you like have to be eye to eye with someone that's like you feel like wants to like cause you harm. Um, so that was scary. Yeah, I lost everything. It got so crazy. Like my parents even got called at like one point, I think. And they were like told that I had all these mental illnesses, and um because of the nature of like what people were saying about me, like was about like that I was like hallucinating and all this stuff. I was like, "Oh my God, like would I even know if I was like not okay?" This is what went through my head. And so I very much for a minute thought that I wasn't okay, and I actually went home to Nova Scotia, and my mom like watched me for like 2 weeks. Um and I was fine. There's nothing wrong with me. I wasn't like doing anything, and it was like at that point that I really was like, this is crazy. Um so then I took my last like $200 or $300 that I had in the bank, and I went to LA. It's like a Hail Mary, because I was like, everything I had worked for to get to Toronto and do all those things had like fallen apart because of this one person. And it's like a lot of what Kill for Sport was about. And Too Pretty for Buffalo, because it became very like much like a mob thing. And I took that money and I went out to LA on like a Hail Mary, and my mom did not want me to go. But she knew that I had to. I think she knew I had to because she knew more than anyone like how much work I had put into like doing this career, and like how much I had overcome to be where I was, and like how heartbroken I was. Like I do remember crying in that moment when I got home to Nova Scotia, and I have never like heard those sounds leave my mouth. Like it was like bad. But then I went I took that like $300. I went to LA, and by like I don't even know how. Like I had no money. I couldn't get around LA anything. And somehow like this person had heard my music um and asked me to come in for a meeting, and I like walked across town to go to this meeting, which if you've ever been to LA, it's like you cannot walk like hours in LA. It's just like so crazy. But I did, and I'm like glad that I did, because um I think that I don't know, it felt like serendipitous. It's like the first time that I feel like I've like almost believed in something, you know what I mean? But I did that, and then yeah, like this crazy opportunity like just came in front of me, and I was able to like make this album, um and it just poured out of me. Like it literally just poured out of me, because I had so much hurt. Like, and that's what I love about the album is like Kill for Sport was like the first song or Kill for Sport and Too Pretty for Buffalo were the first songs that I wrote. They're like so heartbreaking. And then you get later in the album and you're like Virgin Heartbreak, Broke Bitch Boogie. I'm talking about all the same things, but it's like the lightness of like how I feel about it at the end versus the beginning like shows like the healing process of writing the album, which was always something that I thought was really cool. But yeah, so that's how I got to that point. But my whole life wasn't always just music. Like I liked other things too. Like I used to be like a circus performer when I was like a kid. I am super nerdy. I went to school for biochemistry and history, and I just did a Rivendell Lego set over Christmas for fun. Um, but yeah, like it's definitely been like my focus, I would say. Uh, but yeah, so that's a bit of the backstory of like why I am just putting out an album now and like how long it's kind of taken me to do it. Obviously, there's a lot in the lore that is yet to be shared, but that is like pretty much all I can say for now. But yeah, I feel like it's just been such a crazy year, and I've like had so many good experiences making it and everything, and I don't know. I just feel I'm really grateful right now. I can't believe it's out in 10 days. Like, I'm actually tweaking. But yeah, I feel like some of my favorite experiences from the year were probably like working with Sagradessa. Um, she's like a fashion designer. I love fashion. Uh, not particularly good at it, but I love it. She's amazing. She's from Toronto, and I've worn her stuff like every like show that I've done. Um, Making the music videos with my best friends Mel and Piper was really fun. Obviously making the actual album, like being in the studio with Gus and Lowell and Austin and Wyatt in LA, like they're just my people, and um, I feel so lucky to have them because it just makes the experience really meaningful. Also doing it with them. Uh, what's another favorite from the year? Oh my god! Like when the Elton John thing happened, I don't know if like really I don't even know if my family really like knew about it or what, but like it was probably the coolest thing ever. Like hearing Elton John talk about Kill for Sport was like crazy because I was just like the fact that in my lifetime he's gonna like know anything about my music is like bonkers to me. Because I obviously grew up listening to him. Like, I just never thought in a million years, like, ever. You know what I mean? So, that was very, very cool. Um, and then, obviously, the headlining show at the Drake was probably, like, the creme de la creme. Because I've never played a headlining show. I've only ever opened for people, which I love doing. But when you're, oh, my chin. When you're opening for people, um, like you're kind of like introducing yourself, right? Whereas like when you're headlining, like people know who you are. And it was so fun getting to like sing the songs with people that had like heard them, listened to them and stuff, and it was like the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. And also it was like really humbling because I was just like, wow, like I feel like so grateful. Like I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I was like it was just like coming face to face with people that have like really listened to the song and knew the lyrics and stuff and like what it meant to them, and I just I felt like I don't know, it was just the nicest feeling ever. I don't know how else to explain it. um it meant a lot to me. But yeah, so I would say that's like those are like my 5 favorite, I don't even know how many that was, I can't count, but it was like my 5 favorite experiences from the album were probably those. Uh, some things that you might not know about the album. Oh, well, one thing that I've actually never shared this with anyone. I don't even know if some of my co-writers know about this, but all of that stuff that happened in Toronto, like, really, really messed with me. Like, it was so scary because I was like, I don't, like, I feel like everyone, like, thinks all these crazy things about me, and I don't even know if I'm crazy or not or whatever. Um, it was really like mind melting. And one of the craziest things about the album is that I I actually wrote great white sharks at St. Michael's psychiatric ward in Toronto, because I had checked myself in during the making of the album. I got really, really depressed. And I needed support in that moment. And I didn't really have anyone I could talk to, because it was at a point when I was dealing with all that stuff where I was so ashamed and scared to like admit that I had any sort of mental health struggle, because people were like saying that I had schizophrenia or that I was bipolar and all this stuff, which there's nothing wrong with being those things. It's just like I was terrified for my life and for my job, because it also became a reality to me that nobody in the industry gives a fuck about mental health, even if they repost Chapel Roan's thing or like love to like, you know, use it as some like PR thing. They actually don't treat people that are dealing with mental health with any sort of like grace whatsoever. So I was terrified. I was really, really scared to admit that I was struggling. So I went and I checked myself in, and I wrote Great White Sharks. It was like dancing down the hall of the clinically insane and all this stuff. Like I wrote that in the psychiatric ward or psychiatric hold area, like emergency of like St. Michael's. And then I woke up. I don't even know if I ever slept, but I got up at like 8 or whatever when they let you leave. And I walked from that hospital to the studio on the other side of town, to Gus's studio, and we tracked the song that day. So that's like how real and visceral some of these songs are and like get for me. And so they can be hard to perform and stuff, because I really lived them. But yeah, that's a crazy fact. The other one about like Jesus Close Your Eyes, which is not out yet. Fun fact about that is that I actually wrote it for the F1 movie, but obviously didn't make it on the F1 movie, but I really tried. And I thought it was good. I thought that they should have used it, but it's okay, I'll put it up maybe next time. But yeah. Those are like some little tidbits, but yeah, there's lots of little like lore like that. I know that's like so dark. I don't know if I'm like desensitized to like darkness at this point. I'm sorry. But yeah, I feel like my like relationship to like vulnerability has changed a lot, because I'm so accustomed to being vulnerable all the time that I will say the craziest thing, like just be honest about it, and I don't like realize that it's like, oh, maybe don't share that. But whatever, I'm just putting it all out there. I don't care. Yeah. What else? Yeah. I can't think of anything else. Wait, I wrote some notes. I'm stumped. Oh, I wanted to talk about 3 artists that are really inspiring me right now. One is from Nova Scotia, like me. Her name's Goldie Boutillier, and I'm like literally championing her so hard, because I think she's so talented, and I love that she's another Nova Scotia girlie that's like coming up in the world. I could learn a thing or two from her with her visual aesthetic. She's like so on it, and like her music, her visuals, everything. Like, I'm obsessed. Ray is another one. Obviously, like queen of the music industry. I just love her. I just think she's like the creme de la creme of like singing, art, everything. Like, she's perfect. She's perfect. I'm obsessed. And then, a girl that I just heard, Erin LeCount. We have kind of like similar aesthetics. I think she probably did it first. It seems like she's been out for a while, but I love her music. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Like, so much. I love her vibe. She's just, like, perfect angel. But yeah, those are 3 off top. A little bit. Oh, some of the influences of the record. Yeah, so the record was influenced by Dusty in Memphis, which is one of my favorite albums. I found it when I was watching Nine Perfect Strangers, because I shazammed or like found on the soundtrack, what's it called? Windmills of Your Mind, and then I discovered this album and I fell in love. I had never really listened to Dusty Springfield before, but a lot of the sonic world is based off that album. And like Kate Bush, obviously Lana, we all know that I'm inspired by Lana, it's pretty obvious. Um, uh, Mother. uh, but yeah, Kate Bush, Lana, Mazzy Star, Dusty Springfield. Those are the big ones, I feel like. And yeah. But the process of writing it was pretty simple. I just like honestly was in the studio every day with Gus and Lowell and Austin and Wyatt out here. It just poured out. It really did just pour out. It's really crazy thinking back to like how much music was written. Like, there's only 11 songs on the album, but probably like wrote like close to 30. So there's definitely more in the pipeline coming for sure. But yeah. Oh my god, I'm so stuffed up. I hate it. Anyways, I feel like that's enough and I can't breathe. But I guess I'll just say what I've learned, like, before I leave. What I've learned from like 12 years in the music industry, failing hard for 11 of them. The biggest thing that I've learned is like, just put shit out, like music. The amount of years I wasted like not releasing and just trying to over perfect everything, like, crazy. Just put it out. Don't let people be like, oh, that's a good one, hold on to that, you got a campaign around it, blah blah blah. No, just put it out, just do it. Like, it doesn't matter. I feel like the most important marketing happens after the song is released anyways. But yeah, that is my opinion. Also, everyone's full of shit. Just do what you want to do what makes you happy. Nobody fucking knows. Yeah, that's my big advice. Wow, game changing. Thank you. But I just want to say, if you're like watching this or watched 33 minutes of this, that I appreciate you a lot, and I'm just really excited to go on the journey with you. I love you. I'm gonna go to bed.